Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the SMMA Google PPC and How to Sell It section with Jeremy Haynes. I run an agency. It's called Megalodon Marketing. It's 18-person staff. We specialize in personality brand development. I've worked for people like Grant Cardone, building him from $40,000 to $1.8 million a month with the help of a creative team. But I did all of the digital marketing, and that's what allowed me to get the experience that I have now to start an agency and to be able to give you the counsel in which I'm about to provide on Google PPC and some other expert counsel for your social media marketing agency. Getting started, just so we're all on the same page on what we're about to cover here together, I have some critical data for you guys. We're going to go over Google Ads, a PPC strategy for the novice, the intermediate, and the advanced agency owner who's starting their social media agency. And we're also going to go into the implementation of PPC for your small business clients. We're going to talk about how to sell Google PPC as a service in your agency. We're also going to roll into how to package the actual service itself. I'm going to kind of layer it for you guys. We're going to take some things away, add more value to higher packages, kind of go into that. We're going to talk about what types of services you guys can offer in your package and how to price it. We're also going to go into upsell opportunities to increase the transaction value of each customer that you guys are able to retain, each client that you guys are able to bring onto your business. And then we're going to go into the best way to take recurring payments from these people that you guys get on. So this is a bulletproof strategy from A to Z on how to sell Google PPC and how to incorporate some upsells into the opportunity so you guys can increase the transaction value of your clients and get some clients from one specific source of one of the highest currently transacted digital advertising mediums. Google and Google AdWords specifically is literally the largest current digital marketing medium that has every company putting dollars into it to drive traffic through their search network, through their display network targeting, through both, through YouTube pre-roll advertising, as you guys are all very familiar with, being familiar with Tai Lopez. So without further ado, we're going to define some terms real quick. So before we even get started, so you guys don't get confused, we have to actually understand what we're going to be talking about together. So this is more for the novice, okay? So PPC, just so we're on the same page with that, pay per click. You're going to see this not only in Google, you're going to see this in things like Facebook, you're going to see this in things like Twitter, YouTube, you're going to see this in LinkedIn, across all digital advertising mediums. You should be very familiar with the words PPC as an agency owner. We're going to go over Google AdWords, which is the actual platform in which you're going to be running the campaigns and managing the campaigns if you don't use a tool outside of that to build these campaigns for your clients. I'm going to talk a little bit about SMS marketing, which is just a fancy way to say text message marketing. We're going to go over spy tools. So spy tools are going to be things that are online resources and tools that you guys can use to kind of go behind the scenes and validate and kind of back up your word with data to the clients that you guys are going to be pitching throughout the different phases of how we're going to go over this together with selling it to your potential clients. So real quick, one of the biggest things that I learned when I was working for the #1 sales trainer in the world, Grant Cardone, was that you first, as a salesperson, have to sell yourself on the product in which you are going to be presenting in front of other people. So it's the most important sale is yourself. So for you right now, to put yourself in a position where you have the ability to sell this to others, you have to be bulletproof on every single thing that somebody could hit you with at any angle around Google AdWords as to why somebody wouldn't want to do it. You as a salesperson have to be able to overcome the objection before it comes and address that through your pitch. And so we're going to kind of talk about why Google AdWords real quick. You're going to hear a lot nowadays about things like Facebook advertising, which is great, and you should do that in every regard. We're just talking about PPC here in this sense. So what if you get that person though that's like, oh, well, I hear all this mumbo jumbo about Facebook advertising. I don't know if Google's the route for me. What do you say to that person? Or what do you say to the mom and pop shop who you're pitching on doing some Google PPC for, who has no idea what Google AdWords even is? How do you overcome that? How do you overcome the person who specializes in organic SEO that's going to tell you that 43% of PPC traffic is fake? What do you do for that objection? So why Google AdWords? Nearly instant page one rankings. I think every person who knows what Google is and who uses the internet at this point would agree that for you to really become known and to really get some validity in the search engines nowadays, it's very important to be above the fold. 96% of viewers don't even go below the fold. I just looked this stat up earlier today to reiterate the fact to myself that it was true, because that was a stat that I learned a while ago, that 96% of Google viewers don't even go below the page view with a page fold. So take that in. If you know how the Google search result looks, you're actually going to be able, let's draw this out together. So if you know how Google search result looks, nearly instant page one rankings mean that when you have your little search box up here at the top, and then it goes right into ranking number 1, ranking number 2, ranking number 3. 1, 2, and 3 right here are all ads. If this is a keyword that somebody's typed in that is being targeted by people in the PPC space. So Google, and this is an imaginary line, Google here, down, this is organic, right? This is the organic territory. Whole different conversation, okay? Up here can be controlled. This is what I mean by nearly instant page 1 rankings, okay? Because whatever this user types, you in Google PPC, you have the ability to target the keywords that that person is searching and then place an advertisement that links directly to your web page or landing page or offer or whatever you're doing here. Boom, nearly instant page 1 rankings. You just overcame the 6 to 8 months of work it takes from the organic perspective. And keep in mind, 96% of people, they're not going below this. So you're above that, and you've given yourself, in some cases, more than one opportunity if you know a little more about advanced targeting. But second thing, you get to reach highly motivated targeted prospects. So check this out. If you have reverse engineered the customer of your client successfully and you've put yourself in a position where you can comfortably articulate who you're going after by targeting said keywords that that user's typing, you're going to put yourself in a perspective and a position that allows you to know with confidence that the people who are coming to your site are targeted, motivated individuals who are ready to take action because you've contextually followed up and given them an opportunity to take advantage of an offer, a product, a service, a lead source, a piece of value, if you will. You've given them an opportunity. And you've given that motivated, targeted person the opportunity to feel like Google did something for them. You know, you've put in the work behind the scenes to allow them to get that follow-up, if you will. So third thing here, you only pay for clicks or website visits. So critical piece of data, pay per click, PPC. That means you are not paying when people just view the ad. So if I search here and I see ad 1, ad 2, and ad 3, and I do not click as the user, advertisers 1, 2, and 3 do not get charged because I didn't click as the person searching. However, if I do click, I'm getting charged on a cost per click basis, which is CPC. So that being said, additional options, you get geographic targeting. So very simplistic, you get to target people based on where they are. Big thing for me, big thing for other business owners is control. With control, you get the opportunity to dictate the outcomes and the actions that happen throughout your lifetime. And specifically in this case, you as an agency owner, if you're going to have staff or if you're going to be starting off doing this on your own, you're going to want control of everything and know that you have the ability to dictate the outcome that you're predicting and hopefully fulfilling for your clients that you guys are working with. So when I say control, you get to control the keywords and where your ads show up. You get to control the monthly budget. You get to control how much you're willing to pay per click. So even if somebody else is paying $5, you can say you're only going to pay $2. And although you might not get as much traffic as the person who's going to get exposed to more people from being willing to pay $5, you are going to put yourself in a position where you're still able to control the fact that you want to pay less, which is great. You get to control the geographic areas for which your ads appear, of course. The day and times your ads run, that's also critical, just in case you're running ads for, let's say childcare, and or like Cartoon Network. This is a great example. Cartoon Network during the day run shows to a different demographic than they do at nighttime. At nighttime, they actually transition into Adult Swim. So in that metaphor, what I'm telling you guys is that different days and different times, different ads are run in those two examples because there's two completely different demographics that are viewing those things at that time, even though it's the same distribution channel itself. So having the ability to kind of dictate that makes a big difference. The messaging in the ads, and then the page or the website, if you will, for where the ads are run. So control is a big thing here. And you also get highly effective keyword research and market research tools. So when you're using PPC, it gives somebody more confidence as a business owner to know things or to seek information about their competitors, or to just seek information about the marketplace and what people are doing around their industry or their market or their business as a whole. You get to report a lot of awesome data to these clients. I go into clients every single day of my life, and when I sit down with these people who I'm either pitching or who I'm showing data to or who I'm speaking to on the phone or going over data with on Skype, everybody, when I show them the keywords that we're going after, I'll commonly get people saying, why are you going after that? That people aren't searching for that. And then with the data that I'm able to provide them, I'm able to show them how many people are actually targeting those things. And sometimes that predicates a decision that they're able to make in their business that gives them more confidence, gives them more transactions, and just more value that they can deliver as a business through time, just from understanding and having more data. Because when you have more data, you can make better decisions. Some of the common goals for an AdWords campaign, this is pretty simplistic. This is what you're going to find when you're pitching people, of how you can kind of qualify if AdWords may be the right channel for them. That being said, your objectives, making a purchase on your website, generating phone calls, getting customers to come into a store office. You can do physical stuff as well. Promoting a special, downloading a coupon, branding, downloading a white paper, special report, ebook, whatever. Signing up for a newsletter, collecting keyword data, testing marketing copy, headlines, etc., and then promoting a new service or product. You know, there's a lot of creative ways that you have the ability to use PPC. I also use it for a model that I call the omnipresent advertising model to follow up and retarget, but we'll talk about that a little later on. So at this point, I'd like you guys to go into your cheat sheet guide that you have here. We've provided something that's called Understanding the Basics for Setting Up an AdWords Account. So it's critical to understand that here in the SMMA course that I'm presenting to you on Google PPC, I want to show you how to actually sell the service, and I want to show you how to provide the value around it, how to structure the deal, how your packages should look, you know, the technical terminology that you're going to use in your agreements versus what you're going to say, and how you're going to simplify it to your clients and your prospects and leads. However, this course isn't going to go into deep detail on how to build you out a Google AdWords campaign. We're going to expect you guys to be able to follow the Understanding the Basics for Setting Up an AdWords Account cheat sheet guide that we've given you, which is very simplistic, step-by-step oriented to put you in a position where you can build out the campaign itself. So once again, we're going to put you in a position where you know how to sell this. And that's what's going to matter here, of course, on top of the fact that you can deliver after selling. So make sure, before we roll into this next part, you take some time to dive deep on ensuring that you are an expert and you are able to deliver on what I'm about to teach you to sell. Because if you apply the information in which you're about to learn, if you apply the counsel in which I'm about to give you guys, I've made hundreds of thousands of dollars through selling people on Google PPC in net profits as an agency directly with the information that I'm about to provide you guys. So that being said, from my own ethical perspective to you guys, it's important once again that I make sure that you guys are actually delivering on the service that you're about to provide. So with that being said, let's sell. What your buyer will care about. So check this out. Your buyer, their number one motive, I guarantee it, number one motive, guaranteed, getting a return on their money. Now it sounds obvious, but check this out. People being business owners, executives, decision makers in companies are going to hand you a check, okay? And you have two different ways you can charge this. We'll talk about that in a minute. Getting a return on that check that they give you is what they want. Not just the agency fees, not just the spend, they want a return on it all. That's how they're going to continue spending money with you, and that's how you're going to retain a long-term client. So understanding what they care about, once again, you need to know that they care about their money. They do care about what keywords you're selecting. I'll say maybe 2 out of 10 clients that we work with, they don't care about the keywords because they don't understand it, and they're too busy to be able to understand it. So that's a valid excuse in some cases. That's why they've hired an expert to come in and do it for them. However, most small businesses are going to want to still feel in control. They're still going to want to feel like they're educated on what you're doing. That way they can make executive decisions around what you're doing to ensure that they can hold you accountable, which is your responsibility as the agency owner to educate them. That way they can hold you accountable. That being said, the keywords that you're selecting are going to be important. You're going to have objections. Like I said before, and I'll say it again, almost every client that I've ever sat down with that's become a client with us, they've all given me the objection of, why are you using those keywords? Why don't you use these? And so it's been critical for me to have to use some of the spy tools that we're going to talk about to validate what it is that I bring to the table with the keywords that we present. That way it's more of a logical decision and not just an emotional, hey, this is how I feel we should be approaching your Google AdWords campaign. These are the random keywords that I found. You want to have validated data to back up your words. So the keywords that you're using is very important. Where you're sending traffic. This is a good potential upsell. This is the websites and the landing pages in which you're taking them from Google and the search engines over to their actual websites where the conversions can take place or their goal can be achieved, right? So I say it's a potential upsell because you need to focus on that. You need to tell these people, hey, business owner, I need you to know I'm your marketer, okay? I am responsible for taking people from Google search right now in this Google PPC proposal that I'm building for you, and I am responsible. It is my ethical duty to you to take you and that person to the point where your goal's fulfilled. So if we want to lead, we want them to fill out the form. If we want to sale, we want them to fill out the checkout form. If we want them to call, we want them to click on the phone number. But here's the thing, business owner. If I take them from Google search and I push them over to your website and your website sucks, I can't guarantee the result. So if you'd like, here's the upsell, I can take a look at your website for you. We can do a consultation, and we'd be more than happy to tell you how you can increase the conversions through some tips that we've applied to other websites that have converted well in the past as experts on other accounts. We'd love to do that for you at no cost. Is that something you'd like to pursue? Great opportunity for you to get a website out of this. So that being said, it's very important for you to emphasize that fact, because I've had clients in my amateur days when I first started out, we would send thousands of people to their website and their website sucked. And then we'd get no conversions, and they'd come back to me and be like, hey, we didn't get anything. We spent all this money and nothing happened. And then I'd have to go back and explain the fact that their website was poor, and then they would obviously turn it around on me and say, well, why didn't you address that first? So address it first. Don't be afraid of it. Make the upsell if you need to. If you don't have the ability to deliver on the website, give it to a friend. More than enough people out here can do websites nowadays. Fourth thing they're going to care about, how you're following up with the unconverted page visitors. Now, if you have an educated business owner, okay, this is more for the intermediate and advanced style of what we're going to talk about right now. If you sit down with somebody who says or brings up the word remarketing, that's an upsell, okay? If you sit down with somebody and they start talking to you about, well, you know, all these people come to my website, like what happens to them when they leave? You need to bring that up anyway if they're not talking about that, because that's an opportunity for you to make more money and increase the transaction value with that customer, and of course deliver more value to deliver a higher impact, so your returns are longer, so your client relationships are longer, and so you're more fulfilled in your agency. Check this out. Following up with unconverted leads, okay? You need to explain that. If somebody goes from the Google search result and they transition onto that website, okay, and they don't convert, you need to give that person a metaphor like, I want you to picture 1,000 people. Okay, picture 1,000 people in one day at one time walking into an Apple store, and picture your page only gets a 10% conversion. That's 900 people who are going to walk into your store and leave without doing a thing. Now here's the magic about the internet. Before those 900 people walk out of your store, we're going to drop a little cookie into their pocket. And with the cookie we drop into their pocket, we're going to be able to follow them around, and we're going to be able to follow up with that person through whatever digital channel we have placed a cookie in their pocket for, and we're going to be able to follow up with that individual to try to make a sale long-term, business owner. Would you like to talk about the opportunities that we can pursue and the channels that we can remarket through after we've gotten the person from Google to your web page and they've left without making a conversion? Would you like to discuss that? Another great opportunity. Your main objective with Google PPC, unfortunately, is just going to be taking cold traffic that's targeted based on the keywords that they searched and pushing them to offer pages, promotional pages, or whatever other objective you're trying to fulfill for your clients. Fifth thing, same thing, this is very important, speed of deliverability, okay? The speed of delivery to getting results. If you are in a position where you're an agency owner and you do not hold the perspective that one of the most critical things that you can do in business is as fast as you possibly can, get as many and as much result as you can for your clients, you have the wrong mindset. You should be working as fast and as diligently as you possibly can in order to deliver the absolute highest impact results for your clients in the shortest possible time frame possible, period. You know, there's no way around that. Everybody, if you take 28 days in a 30-day cycle with a customer to drive them back that return, they're scared. They're like, oh my gosh, this is my first month with this person. This is my second month with this person. It took them 28 days to get me a return. And they only made me $1,000 more than I spent with them. I'm a little skeptical on that. You see what I mean? So if you get them that same result, though, in 2 daes, they're like, oh, wow, this guy made me $1,000 more than I've already spent with him. It's only been 3 days. So massive differences in the perspective that you can build in your clients. Without further ado, I'd like to roll into how we actually sell this service. So some data here on what I'm about to discuss. When you start to sell PPC once again, and you've educated yourself enough to become an expert and feel that you are well-rounded in the marketplace, and you are knowledgeable enough in the Google PPC and Google AdWords space to go out into the field now and sell this service, here's how you're going to want to approach it, okay? As far as generating leads, one of the easiest things that you could do if you have time as an agency owner, let's just say you're starting up, one of the things that I did is I would actually I would just go search the keywords for the clients that I wanted to work with, for people that I think would be targeting those keywords. So just to kind of simplify what I just said, I'd make a list of ideal clients that I wanted. So my agency, we specialize in personality brand development. So we help people who have done real things in real life take that result and help them monetize, digitize, and scale a system to help others get that result. So we create tangible and intangible information products, right? So I would make a list of the people that I wanted to work with, right? And I would make a list of the types of companies that I'd want to work with, right? And then I'm going to reverse engineer this. So I'm going to take it from understanding my end result of what I want, and I'm going to try to say, what keywords could people be searching? Or a better step might here, you know, a little simpler step might be to say, what is this person an expert in? Like, how can people find this ideal list of clients that I have? That's what's going to give you the list of keywords that you have now reverse engineered to be able to go type yourself to see who's active in Google PPC. You can also use some of the tools that I'm going to provide here at the end that we're going to cover to go in and actually reverse engineer certain keywords to see every person who's targeting that one keyword, how much they're spending on it, how many impressions they're getting, how many clicks they're getting from it. So you have a lot at your disposal here just for lead generation alone, outside of cold calls, outside of going into the search engines themselves. You have tools. You can also do PPC yourself to target PPC traffic. You can use all the other digital advertising mediums. You can create organic content, distribute and disseminate organic content. You can do a lot when it comes to lead generation, right? But once you get a lead on the phone, or once you get somebody who's in your inbox going back and forth with you guys, it's really important to understand that a lot of people don't know anything about Google AdWords. A lot of business owners are very uneducated in this space. People get that you can search a word and ads show up. What a lot of people don't understand is what goes into it to get that result and all of the tedious things that you're going to have to know as an agency owner to get that done. What the business owner is going to want to know is, hey, can I spend this? Can I make this? How quick is it going to take? Or how long is it going to take for you to get that result that you're looking for? And can you show me data that's going to back up your plan? So if you kind of think about it in those phases, you derive down to the fact that you're going to need a reverse engineer strategy and a CPR. A CPR, let me see if I can write this on the board here. Boom. CPRs are very important, ladies and gentlemen. This is what's going to give the client the actual confidence in your system for you to deliver, right? CPR, clear process to revenue. If you're one of these people that's going to come in and sit down with somebody and say, okay, so we're going to do this and then we're going to do that and then like that thing's going to point to this and like that's going to go there and then that's going to shoot over here and like we're going to have like so-and-so like get on the phones and gone. They're lost. They have no idea what you just said. However, if you have a CPR, clear process to revenue, that means you have a step-by-step logical, articulate approach, A to Z, how that person's going to get money with no questions, complaints, problems, concerns, objections. You have a clear process to revenue. There's nothing they can say that would be able to overcome your CPR because you've thought it through well enough, right? You've backed it up with data. So once again, if you have a reverse engineered strategy and a CPR, okay, so a reverse engineered battle plan on how you're actually going to get the result for the client, you're going to put yourself in a better position than if you just came in saying, hey, I'm a Google PPC expert. You know, I took this digital training over here and, you know, that's what makes me an expert. You're going to need to have, once again, data behind your word to kind of go in and say, hey, business owner, I see that you're in this industry and I can tell that you're going after this client and I know that you're targeting these keywords currently because I use this tool to find every keyword that you're currently targeting, and I'm saying that you spend this much a month because I also have a tool that tells me how much you spend a month, and I know that competitors A, B, and C for you are spending about this much more than you or this much less than you. They're targeting these keywords that you're not. Here's their keywords that they're targeting that you're not. We can incorporate that into your strategy, and we could do A, B, C, put you in a better position as a business owner to get a result. That's a reverse engineered plan. That person's not overcoming that. That's bulletproof. Whereas if you're walking in saying, hey, business owner, I'm a Google PPC expert. I'd love to take on your account. Can we talk for 5 minutes? Dude, they don't even know what Google PPC is. They don't know what you're talking about. You've got to come in projecting the result you can get. I have people come to me all the time as a business owner who pitch me on services, consulting, you know, dashboards, all types of shit. But check this out. If you can put yourself in a position where you walk up to somebody and you articulate what you can do for them and not what you can do, did you take that in? What you can do for them and not what you can do, you are going to be in a better position. I never walk into a client and talk about myself, rarely. And if I do, I pepper it in so it seems very organic. If I personally am walking into a client, I am already bulletproof on what I'm doing for them. It's not a general sales pitch. This is like, hey, I've researched your company. I have a CPR for you. I have a plan. You're probably sitting there right now and you might have the objection of like, this is going to take too much time, man. This PPC shit. You're telling me I have to reverse engineer a battle plan for everybody I want to pitch, Jeremy? Who does that? Let me tell you who does that. Somebody does that who knows who they want to sell to. This specific reverse engineered strategy in CPR, this isn't for the person who wants to go on Facebook and bang out like 80 messages in an hour to somebody to try to get a response, unless you plan on doing that to then build a reverse engineered strategy in CPR. Whenever prospecting, am literally a cold stone baller focused on the kill. I identify my target. I go deep on a research phase where I reverse engineer everything I can find about the client. I want to know how much they spend on every digital channel. I want to know their total marketing dollar amount. I want to know who works for them. I want to know how long they've been in business. I want to know their competitors. I want to know what their current goals and objectives are. I might secret shop them just to find some of that information out, to then go to them and try to sell them, to let them know I also secret shop them, to let them know I care. 9 times out of 10, and I mean this, I've actually quantified it, 90% of the time, it's like 90.57 to be specific, I close the deal. It's pretty good, 90% closing ratio. Not to toot my own horn, but I have that percentage because I'm only talking to people who are qualified, that I have a bulletproof plan for on how I'm going to revolutionize and change their business. I have a high impact plan and a CPR on what I'm going to do for this individual that I'm trying to talk to. I'm never going in blind, ever. So from that perspective, if you want to get a 90% closing ratio, you need to follow the reverse engineered plan and you need to get a CPR for these individuals. Second thing you need to do is you need to set the expectations for the assets and the timelines for you to be able to get the result, and for anything that you need to create that's going to affect you being able to get a result. So that means if you upsell them on a website, or maybe you're selling them on social services, or whatever else you're doing for the client, make sure you make it abundantly clear that it's going to take X amount of days or X amount of hours, or hopefully not X amount of weeks, to turn around the setup of these Google campaigns. Hopefully it's not going to take you days to give them a discovery report after you talk to them. Hopefully you're going to be in a position where you say to yourself, okay, now that I have somebody on the phone, now that I have them hooked, now that I've built this reverse engineered strategy and a clear process to revenue for them, what is my responsibility in the deal? Your responsibility now is to make sure that it's known, hey, I have to build this for you in order to get that result. It's going to take me about this long to get the result, and commonly we'll find these things that may obstruct us from getting the result, but this is how we're going to deal with those in real time. It's your job to set the expectations. Otherwise, you're going to be in a position where those objections can become known to the individual as you didn't address them, which is going to cause much more friction and negativity. If your goal here is for long-term clients, you want to put everything out. You just want to make it all known. You want to put absolutely all the negatives. Think about it. If you didn't close a deal with the person yet, you're not going to lose the deal because you technically don't have the deal yet, right? If you put every objection, every negative in front of these individuals prior to them being able to make it, I promise you, it's going to diffuse all that. It's going to future-proof the objections, if you will, being able to come up by you not setting the expectations and the timeline on the things that you're going to do. Third thing, sell the value, not the price. Okay, so selling the service, once again, I'm walking up to people, I'm selling them on the result that I'm getting. I'm trying to tell them that they're going to get X amount of more people to their website. I'm trying to tell them that they're going to get X amount more leads. I'm trying to tell them that X amount of customers will be generated, and we're going to upsell X amount more customers. I'm trying to tell them that they are going to retrieve a result. I'm not trying to sell them on the price of what it is I'm about to do for them. Actually, just yesterday with a gentleman, one of my partners, Mr. Joshua Earp, we had closed a $25,000 mutual deal together on a partnership agreement that we just did for a gentleman who sells, I actually don't believe I can sell his, I don't think I can say his product, but anyway, we did a $25,000 deal together on a client that sells a product, okay? And we went to this guy, we didn't tell him the price literally until the last 2 minutes of our 5th phone call together. We didn't say it was 25 grand a month once. All we spoke about the entire time was the results, was the value, was the assets, was the tangible and intangibles this gentleman was about to get stepping into an agreement with us as a client. We spoke about the prices we've done for other people. So we set a range. We told the guy it was like $40,000 to $50,000 on a month-to-month basis, right? Okay, check this out. After we put ourselves in the correct positioning to show that we were going to get him a result and the value that we wanted to bring him, at the very end, the guy was foaming at the mouth for a price. He was like, oh my gosh, like, what are you guys going to do this for? Like, why don't you guys tell me the price? Like, what is it going to be? We were like, listen, Normally we do it for a $50,000 range, sometimes 40. But we want this deal bad enough, we are actually going to do it for 25. But here's the thing. We never do this. We have 4 days that we can take on one more client. And if you want to do that, we need a $25,000 wire and an agreement signed within the next 48 hours. Do you want to rock and roll? The guy was like, yes, yeah, absolutely. No questions asked. That's no money. Fine, let's go. And we made the agreement, the transaction occurred, and we moved forward, right? That being said, we sold the guy on the value, not on the price. Imagine if I would have spoke on the phone initially and I was like, hey, sir, here's what we do. Here are the things that I am great at, and I'm going to do it for you for 25 grand. You wouldn't listen. Anybody who ballparks 25 grand on a month-to-month basis, they're going to want to know what you're doing for them, how much more they're going to make from it, and the speed at which you can get them that result, not what the price is. They don't want to think with that. They don't want to think with that first. They always want to think with what you can actually do for them. What's the tangible result? And if you need to go into negotiations after you've built the value and then set the price, that's a whole different conversation. Selling the deal, once again, if you're selling the service, you want to sell on the value, not the price. Prices for negotiations. Fourth thing, this is a really good thing that's worked for me, and this is just from experience. I'm providing this to you. This has been experience in my sales and marketing divisions in my organization. We show people visuals, and we don't get caught up in talking nerd to our clients or to our prospects. Okay, what do I mean by that? And no offense to anybody who takes offense to the word nerds. Check this out. By visuals, you have to understand a model that's called the VAK model. Okay, the VAK model, I give credit to Mr. Paul Webb on this. Paul Webb taught me the VAK model. The VAK model is pretty simple. Just so we are on the same page as far as definitions together. VAK stands for visual, auditory, and kinesthetic. Okay, so VAK. And when you understand the VAK, you'll understand there's three things, three inputs and three outputs that people can have in life for how they take information and how they put out information, okay? And those three different things are visual, auditory, and kinesthetic. So by definition, visual means that people like to see things. That can be for how they take things in. It can also be for how they put things out, okay? Second, auditory means people like to hear things. People like to talk a lot. People like to have discussions. People like to debate. People like to do things that visual people would probably get very annoyed with. Kinesthetics are people who like to feel and people who act off of action. Those are the people who can't sit still. Those are the people who are constantly moving. Those are the people who are just always like this. Those are the people who are constantly, talking with their hands. And you're seeing me do it right now. Me personally, I'm a visual kinesthetic. So I can tell you that I take things in visually and I put things out visually. But I tell you guys this, not to tell you how I take things in and how I put things out, but how your client, how your potential client may be taking things in, putting things out, right? 35% of the people in the world are visual, 25% are auditory, and 40% are kinesthetic. Sometimes you're a combination. So check this out. If you understand that 35%, you have a higher opportunity of selling somebody when they're visual or when they're kinesthetic, and kinesthetics prefer visuals. You have a higher opportunity of selling somebody when you cater to them visually, okay? So when you can deliver somebody something where you can actually show them, when you can kind of make it real, when you can draw it to fruition, if you will, visual is going to be what you bank on every time. So with selling your service, just to tie this in with what I'm talking about, you want to visually represent the data. So when you guys get 500 potential keywords you can use for a client, like visually represent 500 somehow. Like if you can visually represent 1,000 people walking into a store to represent that you're going to get 1,000 people to somebody's e-commerce site in 30 days, visually represent it. Like try to get your graphics team or try to get your graphic designer partner to put 1,000 people in a room and show the person that in a presentation. Be like, hey, listen, with these keywords, and show a big pie chart. Be like, I think that you could be, in the next visual, getting 1,000 people in one room a month. You can get 1,000 people in your store each month. Would you benefit from something like that? Look how crazy this store looks, right? The person's going to be able to take things in. I don't want to make up a stat, but I do believe that it's 60 times higher, the interpretation of a visual versus just saying it to somebody. So somebody can take something in 60 times higher when it's visually represented versus just saying it, right? Auditory information, check this out. 25% of people are auditory. You need to cater to all three of these. You need to be able to show people something while you're talking to them about it, while you're also giving them something that they can take action on just in case they're kinesthetic, right? You'll see me right now. I'm showing you guys stuff, right? I'm talking to you, and I'm also using my hands, and I'm talking to you about actionable data that you can use. So I'm catering to all three of these models of how you can take things in and how you can put things out. Pretty cool, right? So showing them visuals, that's great. That's going to help you sell. And then not getting caught up in talking nerd to your clients, that is where you're going to make the big difference. The last banger I'm going to give you, once again, just kind of elaborate on not talking nerd to clients, means if you really like, whether you're a novice, whether you're an intermediate, or even if you're advanced, especially if you're advanced, you're commonly going to find that you reach this area in your expertise where you actually feel so confident in what you know that you feel like everybody else around you knows it. You feel like every other person around you is now a Google PPC expert because you've been reading articles every day, you've been in the trenches every day, you've been building campaigns, you've been reporting to clients, you've been doing all this, and this has become your reality, okay? Now, here's what I mean by talking nerd. I mean, you live in a reality, and now you're stepping into a business owner's reality, and you're trying to talk about your reality to them, and they don't care about that. They care about how many things they're doing in a day. They care about how caught up they already are. They care about Jill over in accounting not getting her the numbers yet. You know, the business owner cares about themselves and their reality more than they care about your reality. And your reality, okay, AKA if you're talking nerd to a client, it's a good way to check yourself on this is to remember the difference in the perceptions, right? People aren't going to perceive the data that you're an expert in the same way that you're going to articulate it to another expert. A business owner is going to want simplified, just actionable data. They're going to want to know, once again, if I spend this, I'm going to make this. It should get this many more people to your site. You know, here's the results that we're going to be able to derive. Here's some data to back up what I'm talking about. It's very easy to comprehend no matter who you are, no matter what channel you're presenting somebody to take action on. If you can present them something visual and something that, you know, doesn't necessarily sound complex, what I mean talking nerd to them, that's where you're going to have a sale occur in high frequencies. Now, how to package the service, let's roll into this. This is great data. Now, this information I'm about to give you, this is going to be something that gives you, I don't know, a way to structure all your packages. I mean, this is going to be like very, what's the word I'm looking for here? Business development, like your infrastructure of the deals, if you will, of like how you internally look at the deals and how you externalize the deals and like how you sell this stuff. So I use a pyramid myself, okay? So check this out, how to package the service. We're going to kind of roll into this here, okay? We're going to draw a pyramid together. Okay, now before we fill in our pyramid, before we do anything with this, okay, when I say packaging the service, if you guys have used the internet in the last decade, I'm sure you guys have seen pricing tables where it shows like, you know, deal 1, deal 2, otherwise like the recommended deal, and like deal 3. You know, and you guys might be doing this on your web pages right now. You know, you guys might be saying like, you know, this one's like $1,000 a month, and this one over here is like $5,000 a month, and then this one's like the enterprise deal, or, you know, whatever other fancy name you want to come up for it. And then you might see like call to action buttons at the bottom of these, right? This is an example of structuring your packages as well. So that's what I mean, and that's what we're about to talk about. In this example of like structuring your deals, the reason that you have different prices is because more value is included, the more they spend. So check this out. How to package the service. We're going to go over the actual like line item breakdown of what you guys can include. I really want to deliver very actionable data that you guys are going to be able to pull out of this course and just like literally put right into an agreement. I literally went right into my agreements and I pulled out the exact verbiage that I use for what we deliver on in our Google PPC accounts to our clients. But it's very important that you understand what I'm about to explain to you here first. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to structure the package and you're not going to be able to price it appropriately, all right? So this is kind of like the psychology and the business development behind what we can fill it with here in a moment, okay? So I also give you guys this in a cheat sheet. So what we're about to cover, you guys have a template that you guys have the ability to populate different names into as far as the titles of what we're about to discuss together and the prices and the details associated with that. So you guys have this to take home. So here we go. In business, okay, the reason I have your business represented as a pyramid right now is because business is a pyramid. Check this out. The foundation to any business, I don't care what business you're in, I literally don't care what you do. You could be sitting here watching this right now and you could sell flowers on the side of the road, or you could be an experienced agency owner that might be trying to touch up his skills, or you might be somebody who, you know, is a digital marketer and like now you want to step it up and, you know, you want to go entrepreneurial and, you know, this is your big shot, right? No matter what you do in life, even if you're a lifeguard, okay, the foundation to any business ever is attention. So it's important you're always marketing and selling. Easy as pie. Okay, attention, social media content creation, dissemination, marketing yourself, using the digital channels that we're talking about in the SMMAs together. Using everything to your advantage to be able to get and retain attention is very important. You need to do literally every single thing you can, and you need to also relate this to the people that you're working with. You are giving them the opportunity to get attention. And attention is the foundation of any business, which is the most critical part of what we're about to talk about together. Because to get people from here, from the base of your pyramid, AKA from just giving you attention, to the highest package levels that you have, which we're gonna draw together right now. Check this out. The top of the pyramid, this is represented by what I call your elite level customers. So in my personal model, you know, I've changed my prices so many times. I've changed my prices over the last year that I've been in business probably 6 or 7 times from how consistently I managed to scale my company, right? But my elite level packages, you know, my business, they pay about 16 to 25 grand a month, and that's on a recurring basis, right? So the elite level packages up here, check this out. These are the people who understand you and what your business can do for them the best. Like, these people get it. These people are bulletproof on what you're doing for them, how you're doing it, you know, the relationship that you have with them. They're spending a lot of money with you. You guys are probably friends at this point. Like, your elite level customers, these are awesome. These are people that you, like, just fluent relationship, no problems with at all. And if there is a problem, easy to work through, and like you both know that you're gonna get through it, right? But you'll also notice the reason that we represent this as a pyramid is you'll get way more attention than you ever will elite level customers, okay? There's not enough real estate in the elite level portion of our pyramid to have a lot of people. That's why you gotta price it so high. So check it out. I'm just gonna put, so we are on the same page in my business model. I have a 16 to 25K package here, okay? So that's what we're gonna put together, just so we label this at the top so you guys have an example, that way we're not just layering this, all right? So just to recap, we have attention at the foundation to get people to go to the absolute top part of our pyramid here, where there's a lot less real estate than there is at the bottom to be a part of our organizations. We call that the elite level package. I price mine between 16 and 25K. Then me personally, I just reverse engineer, okay? So elite, that means I'm throwing everything at them. They get all the bells and whistles. My elite level package customers, I mean, these people get like literally every single thing I can throw at somebody. Marketing automation, social media content creation, dissemination, analytics, email marketing, marketing automation, websites, landing pages, SEO. I mean, these people are getting absolutely everything that you can throw at them, right? Then you just say, well, what can I take away from that package that costs a little less that more people would want? What can I do, right? That's going to get you, you know, you can name these packages whatever you like. You can go basic, you can go premium, you can go, you know, legacy, you can go enterprise, you can go elite, whatever. Use the fancy words that transcend up the scale though, okay? So when I use this package, let's say I just call it my premium package, all right? It's below my elite level package, so it has less than my elite, but more people can buy it because it's lower in cost, and it's more applicable to the people who are giving me attention. So check this out. My premium package in my business, this typically ranges from about 8K to 16K. Check this out. In our premium package, once again, super simple. Just take some stuff away from the elite package, price it a little less, make sure you know that you'll have more people in that package, or you should have more people in that package than you have in the elite, and then do the same thing. Take a few more away. Okay, so as we're going down the pyramid, we're gonna put ourselves in a position again where we name the package whatever we'd like. We go through the services that we have. We take out the services that we don't want in this specific level, and we make it more applicable. We make it more open to people. We know as a business owner that more people will be taking advantage of this package. AKA, you not only know that you're gonna sell the package more here, but you structure your actual organization to deliver on these packages more, because you'll know that more people are in them. You as the executive, you need to free yourself up to focus on the large cycles. If you have a revenue share play, or like you have an equity agreement with somebody in this elite level package, you as the business owner who has the highest level skills, you might not be worried about the people in your basic package, right? So you need to build a literal model. You have to build a business around delivering to these clients. Otherwise, you're gonna get stuck. So it's important to know that as well. So check it out. So as I'm sitting here and I'm pricing this out, you know, take in some of the points that I've told you so far about this pyramid. We have a lot less people at the top. It's a lot higher price point. There's gonna be a lot less people working on those deals at the top in most cases. And if there is more people working on them, they're paid more, there are higher levels of expertise inside of your organization itself. As we go down the pyramid here, we have more people taking advantage of the packages. It's less cost, but we have more people in our organization actually handling those cycles. That way you're hands off. Because you as the executive, once again, you need to be focused on the larger cycles. You need to be focused on filling the pyramid, building the pyramid, giving people the opportunity to be a part of the pyramid. That's what employment's all about. It's giving people the opportunity to become successful through you giving them a paycheck, an opportunity to grow. It's through you being able to assess where those people need to go for where you can deliver the most, right? So check this out. We take them from attention. Let's just say I have some basic package here. Okay. Let's say here, I have my, what do we call it? Let's go with the professional. There we go, the professional package. So, in my professional package, I do this for a flat 4K, and then my basic package, I have two things. I either do a $1,000 one-time payment, which is like a little consulting deal that we do, or sometimes we do a lower version of social services for about $2,500, right? So check this out. In my personal pyramid, this is how I have it built. I also have more people in my organization delivering the results and working on the accounts for this specific portion of the pyramid. A lot of my own time and a lot of my expert staff time goes in to handling the accounts at the top. See what I mean? So when you understand this model and when we relate it back to how to package the actual service and we tie all this into Google PPC, if you guys currently have this model, just relate it and restructure it into a pyramid, okay? Put yourself in a perspective once again where you can visualize a Google PPC package going in here with some of the data that we're about to go over, okay? So services that you can include, if I just rack them off for you guys really quick, check this out. This is everything. Like, this is how I would literally overwhelm a client. I wouldn't ever say all this. I would put all of this into writing. I'd put it in an agreement or a proposal, if you will, and I would come at them with like the 16 to 25K elite level mark, right? This is what I would include just in Google PPC package, right? Dedicated account manager, account review and goal setting, keyword research, account structure and restructure, text ad creation and optimization, dynamic keyword insertion. Take in the things I'm saying. These are very like technical, like just nitty gritty line item breakdown of what you're actually including in these, because that's what people want. If they're spending 16 to 25K with you on an elite level package, they want to know they're getting some fancy shit. If I'm spending $30 million with NASA, I want to know that my astronaut suit that I'm wearing has some things that I can't pronounce on it that I know are going to protect me, right? That's how these people want to feel with something they don't know. They want to feel that you're the expert. They want you to come in with confidence and rattle off the technical shit that they don't know that you do know. So check this out. Conversion tracking, detailed performance reporting, unlimited Google PPC ad campaigns optimized for conversions. You can do unlimited Facebook ad campaigns optimized for conversions. If you guys want to throw in a little upsell here, I literally have over 20 different examples that I can give you right now. This is also provided in your cheat sheet of things for you to include that are all fresh out of my agreement once again. So my own agreement that I use inside of Megalodon Marketing, I give you guys the literal line item breakdown of my elite level package, and all you now need to do is strip. So let's just say it all together, okay? So we'll say here, number of services. Check this out. We're going to separate it. Okay, so let's say in my elite level package, let's say it's 35 services altogether, right? Simple to understand. In my premium package, let's use the example, it's 27 services, right? And the difference in those services between 27 and 35 is the difference in return that the person gets in value from the payment they make each month with you. You see what I mean? So the amount of services, aka the things that you pull out from this, don't just pull out random shit. You want to pull out the things that can deliver a higher result. Keep that in mind. Lower package, let's just say this one, drastic difference. Like let's say this one's like 15 services. You know what I mean? In my business, this is pretty much working with us as a full service agency, whereas this is just having us create your social media for you, right? So 15 services is going to get you content. It's going to get you content created, disseminated across all your social accounts. It's going to get reports, analytics. Whereas if you work with us on the professional, the premium, or our elite level packages, we're going to give you more. We're going to get you more result. We're going to do it quicker. I'm going to offer you more. I'm going to have more staff on there. You see what I mean? So you can kind of flip-flop it at this point. But like I said, at this point in the pyramid, you drastically want to reduce the amount of services, right? Because you're also drastically reducing the amount of retainer that you're getting on a month-to-month basis or the transaction value you're getting with each customer, right? My basic package, this service, sometimes it's like a package where it might be 4 to 5 things. Sometimes it might be, 10 services or it might be 7. Whatever it is, this might be a one-time transaction, or it might be a recurring thing. Because like I said, I have a $1,000 or I have a $2,500 monthly one-time thing down here. But check this out. This might have, let's just say between like 2 and 10 services, okay? And this is just from my model once again. So now that you've understood the pyramid, we've understood the packaging, we've understood how to name it, we've understood that attention and kind of how you can label in a sense, like everything, this is where you'd want to bullet point everything that you do to get attention. And here is where you're listing out how many services are each one of these deals. And this is a visual. I literally have this digitized and I give it to clients and I give it to the internal team members that I have, part of my organization. Check this out. This makes it abundantly clear. Hey, if I'm referring to package elite, dude, you see where you're at in the pyramid. There's not a lot of people there. You see the price. You see the amount of services that it has. That's where you're going to be. You can give that to a team member. In your organization, you can say, hey, I need you to understand that you're delivering on the professional package and that you're responsible for these 15 things. And the results that you get from doing those 15 things, that's what these clients are paying for. It makes it clear internally, and obviously you hand it to a client, it makes it clear to them as well. You can do this for like a proposal that's visual. You can give it to your team members once again for training. I printed these off massive, and Kinko's called me about this for a plug. I printed mine off at Kinko's, and I got a big organizational chart for my wall. It was great. But anyway, so services you can include in the package. That's how you structure your packages, and then you're going to fill it in with everything that you can include. So that's services. If you want to keep me drinking water in here, I can turn to the side. I have great form. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so very important thing to know. You've heard me mention it a few times here in this SMMA course is tools that will help you win. Okay? In life, the more data that you have means the more confident you can be around making a decision that you have that data on, okay? So if you have tools that can give you more data, that's going to make you more confident to go make more decisions. Okay, that's going to give your clients, your prospects, the confidence to make more decisions with you. Check this out. Tools that are going to help you win. I'm going to name a few off. I'm going to lightly touch what they do. There's number one tool that I use, SpyFu. Let's get abundantly clear. These first ones I'm going to name, you're paying for them. Tens of dollars, maybe hundreds of dollars a month. Very high impact results that they all derive. If you're actually out actively selling and you're not just one of these people trying to have like 1 to 5 clients, this is going to put you in a position where 120, I think it's like 129 or 130 bucks a month, something like that. You can use SpyFu, which is a tool that lets you do 3 different things. It lets you reverse engineer all of the keywords that you should be targeting based on one keyword that you already are targeting. So aka it gives you suggestions of things, of keywords specifically, that other people are using or targeting based on one keyword that you've typed in. It allows you to see every single competitor, literally every single person who is targeting that one keyword or whatever keywords you're looking at, and the amount they're spending, the clicks they're getting, and the impressions that they're getting from those ads and the positioning that they get. So if you understood what I just said, something like SpyFu, just from the 2 things that I've told you out of the 3, is going to put you in a position as an agency owner where you're pitching PPC to people, where you can go in and say, hey, business owner, I know, because I have data, the tools, and I have a report that SpyFu generates to show you that I'm not lying, that's branded for your agency, that is going to show you that you target keywords X, that you spend X, that your competitors are targeting keywords X, and that they're targeting this many more than you, and that if you target those keywords and had somebody to do it, you'd get X amount more result. How do I know that? Because I have all the data, I have all the clicks, I have the amount they're spending, literally, for the words that I'm trying to implement into your campaign. So logically, not emotionally, but logically, because I have data to back my word, I can tell you that they are doing this, or that so-and-so is doing that, and here's an exact list of those keywords. Look, here it is, business owner, look in Excel. Look, here's the total volume of keywords. Look at this fancy report that's visual that I can show you that's going to put you in a position of confidence where you feel safe and secure and in control to make a decision based on something that I didn't come up with, that this fancy tool that scrapes and crawls Google AdWords came up with. It's a data-driven decision, business owner. Why would you not? See what I mean? SpyFu, incredible tool. iSpionage, another fancy one. You're going to pay for this. Similar to what SpyFu can do, and SpyFu has a couple other organic tools. A couple other organic tools and a couple other just little like makeshift reports that you can generate. Keyword volume tracking. iSpionage is going to do similar. I just got stuck on SpyFu when I was younger because I liked it. SEMrush is commonly going to be used in the organic side of marketing, but same thing. Great for keyword research. Great for competitive analysis. What runs where? This is going to be great for not only assessing literally keywords and where they run. It actually gives you visuals of search results, which SpyFu does as well, literally of the keywords that you're going to be targeting. So same thing, if you have a very visual client or you have a very visual prospect, what runs where can literally replicate a Google search result for you and kind of put the project or the projections you're making into a visual for like what it would look like and how it would look against other competitors. You can also use it for Google display targeting, which is the other side of Google AdWords. AdBeat, MixRank, and SimilarWeb. These are three things that are all going to do, similar, research for you. Lot more surface level data comparatively to the first four that I had mentioned, specifically the first two. These last three, AdBeat, MixRank, SimilarWeb, these are just going to put you in a position where you have a fourth, fifth, sixth data source, just in case you have that person who wants more credibility than just SpyFu, or just in case somebody already heard iSpionage had like a spam review or whatever. Just in case one of your tools gets discredited, or just in case one of your tools doesn't give you the right data, because sometimes they're not 100%, right? You want to have more than one thing to be able to verify your word against. So something like AdBeat, MixRank, and SimilarWeb, they all do different things that you can dive in on your own, do a little research. And if spending money isn't your thing, you can use MOAT. Moat. It's a tool similar to SpyFu. SpyFu you can also use for free. Some of these other ones you have a trial version with. But MOAT, it's a good one for the people who don't want to spend any money, who want to do some keyword research, who want to do some competitive analysis, who just want to have a little data to validate what it is that they're going to be pitching to these business owners. And I'm sure whether you're a novice, intermediate, or advanced individual, you're going to be able to pick these up and use them. Now, at the beginning of this, we spoke briefly about touching the best ways to make recurring payments in your business for the people who are going to be coming on with you. So in my business, I have several different ways that I transact. I have one-time transactions, which I try to stay away from. I'd say about 80 to 85% of the people that work with us inside of Megalodon Marketing, these people are recurring revenues, right? These people are recurring transactions every month, every 30-day cycle we're working with them, unless we put them on a 45-day cycle for needing to create some additional assets or something. The best way for taking recurring revenue, in my opinion, I started off with Stripe, and I actually have developers on staff that had integrated it with Infusionsoft. So I did a fancy way because I integrated a payment solution in my CRM to do recurring models, right? That took me a while. When I first started, I was using Square. Very easy to get somebody to come in, set up a credit card authorization, and then do a recurring model with them where just charges, just auto drafts and auto sends them an invoice. You can use PayPal. You do have to do a manual process where you can go in. You have the ability to charge the card if you keep it on file in an invoice. And make sure, one real quick thing before we go into the fourth tool, do not keep credit cards on file in your business if you're not PCI compliant. It's like a pro tip. Do not keep credit cards on file in your business physically if you are not PCI compliant. Anyway, fourth tool you can use, Invoice to Go. And all these tools that we're naming, including things like DocuSign for the agreements that you can put out, these companies are PCI compliant. So anyway, Invoice to Go, another fancy tool. They have an iPhone application, desktop, tablet, laptop, of course. So it's just another universal option for you to generate recurring revenue for yourself and your agency on an automated basis that generates invoice for your clients as well. Upsell opportunities. So in business, when you are using this specific medium that we were talking about in the SMMA course on how to sell Google PPC, you have to know that this is just one channel. This is just one thing. Frank Kern, who had called himself the highest paid digital marketing specialist in the world when I had known him for the last 5 to 7 years or so, always spoke about the bowl of fruit metaphor, and I'm going to use it for you guys today. So upsell opportunities look like this, okay? If I'm trying to sell somebody a bowl of fruit, okay? And let's use the example metaphorically, you relate the bowl of fruit to your agency and all the services that it can provide. So each individual fruit that makes up your bowl of fruit is every single thing that you can provide as an agency, okay? Check this out. If you're trying to sell somebody on one specific piece of fruit to get them to buy the bowl of fruit, and that one specific piece of fruit doesn't resonate with that person mentally, you have the opportunity to move on to a different piece of fruit to try to sell them on getting the whole bowl of fruit. You see what I mean? So that is what I want you to visually represent with how I'm telling you need to sell Google PPC and how you are learning to sell all of these other incredible services inside of your social media marketing agency, and how you need to look at it. You need to look at it like it's one line of traffic. It's one lane that can drive people to Disney World. It's one piece of fruit that can bring attention to your entire bowl of fruit. And you are always trying to sell the whole bowl. You're trying to sell a fruit salad to these people. Okay? You're trying to whip it up for whipped cream with them too. You want to put yourself in a position where you can upsell these people. So after you've sold somebody on Google PPC, okay, I've mentioned it a few times, you want to increase the transaction value of the clients. Okay? You want to put yourself in a position where you make more off of these individuals so you can deliver a higher impact return and result. Okay? So some upsell opportunities. I'd hope that you'd be doing social services for these people. I'm going to kind of tell you in a, what's the word, a role play in a sense, how you can sell these things that I'm going to name off for you. So some upsell opportunities: social media strategy development, social media consulting, community management, crisis management, measurement and monitoring, social listening, article creation and distribution, social selling, consulting and execution, and YouTube views and subscriber growth. That literal list of services is what I sell people in what's called my social services package. So that right there is typically like either that $2,500 recurring revenue where we do a low-end social services, or it's that $4,000 monthly where we do social services, where we solely create content, distribute the content, report on the content with the technical line items that I just provided to you, right? That's an upsell. If I'm selling somebody and I'm working with somebody solely on Google PPC, this is what I'm going to tell that person, okay? I'm going to say, hey, business owner, Joe, check this out, okay? You and I, we have this proposal together right now where my agency is able to deliver high impact results for you specifically through one channel, and that's great. We're doing a great job. We're generating you a return. We're making you feel comfortable, confident, safe, in a position where you feel in control. You're able to make decisions, and I'd like to give you the opportunity to make another decision today. Will you hear me out for 2 minutes if I can deliver more value and a higher impact for you without you having to spend an unreasonable amount of money to do something that's not going to get you a return? Would you hear me out? Okay. Check this out, Joe, business owner. Check this out. I, as an agency, I take people all time, all day, every day, and I create content, I distribute the content, and then that content targets the people who hit the websites we drive traffic for through our Google PPC campaigns and follows up with those individuals organically, or it looks to be organic. We are able to retarget people with content rather than with ads, Joe. Let me ask you a question before I keep going on, Joe. Are you in a position where you've ever been on the internet and you've gone to the Hilton, or you've gone to Carnival's website, you're about to go on a cruise down with your wife in Miami there, whatever. Have you ever been in a position where you click on a website and you leave, and then all of a sudden you go to another website, and that website that you just left is everywhere? Like, it's just, the new website you're on is just littered with the other website's ads. Or you hop on Facebook and you immediately see that person for the website that you just left, or you see that company that you literally just left. That's called retargeting, okay? Retargeting, remarketing, whatever you want to call it, is one of those powerful forms of advertising today because it is follow-up. It is a digital version of follow-up. Follow-up is the #1 way to make a sale that didn't happen. The average close happens between the 5th and 12th follow-up attempt. That's something Grant Cardone taught me. So what I did and what I mastered working with Grant Cardone was the digital follow-up. Okay? I just took the model that Grant didn't digitally replicate and I replicated it digitally. That's it. I came in and I said, hey, if people hit a website and don't take action with us, let's create an omnipresent advertising model where we hit these people from every medium and every channel possible to ensure that we get back in front of them so that 5th or 12th follow-up attempt can happen so the close can occur. How can I generate that model? Joe, have you ever been in that model, business owner? Joe, tell me, have you ever hit that website, left, and then had that person follow up with you? Did you ever go back? Joe's probably going to tell you at this point, well, no, the Hilton followed up with me and it was just annoying. I didn't like it. Pissed me off. I shut off my internet. I went and I drove my kid to baseball. Check this out. Joe needs to understand the logic behind remarketing, okay? Joe needs to understand he was disrespected. Joe needs to understand that you as an agency owner, you don't do the spam follow-up. You do the contextual follow-up model, okay? You create a model where people feel good about you getting back in touch with them. You create a model for Joe where he's getting all this traffic from Google PPC, and then boom, now Joe's got all these website visitors, and like I told you, 90% of them left without taking an action. Joe, 90% of the people who walked onto our website left and didn't do anything. I just want to follow them up because the average close happens between the 5th and 12th follow-up attempts, and I'd like to do it by creating content for you that we distribute on social media and then targeting the people who leave the website with that content so they don't even know that we're following up with them with something they just think is an article or they just think is a video, where we don't even try to sell them, Joe. We just literally follow up with them with content so we stay in front of them, because we know that if we get in front of them 5 to 12 more times, that they're going to remember the first thing they did, and we're going to give them the opportunity to snake back to that first thing eventually to go take that action. You see, this is an upsell opportunity with social services that I use all the time. I get, without making up a stat, I believe we last quantified it for about 72 to 75% of our clientele that we work with is upsold or initially sold on social services for that very reason I just gave you. So that was very powerful. A few other things you can do. You can do landing page creation and maintenance. Charging maintenance on websites or landing pages is great. If you're like me, in my agency, we just charge people for the landing pages, websites. We include the actual maintenance as a value add from how much people spend with us anyway, because I price my packages accordingly, unlike other people. Websites. There's a difference between landing page and website. Websites are meatier, more pages. Landing pages are for a specific thing, specific offer, specific action. Marketing automation. So this is where you can do things like email follow-up. You can contextually follow up with people on a personal basis. You can send emails from a salesperson who's assigned to their account. You can send emails from you as the business owner without you having to actually send an email to somebody. You can put yourself in a position where you're following up with people and you're not literally even following up. You just worked hard once to create this model, or you hired an agency to do it and they've done it for you. You can do that with SMS, aka text message marketing. Marketing automation is a very powerful tool, and it's very time consuming. So if you have a marketing automation expert on staff, you have the ability to really upsell that package. That's a meatier service. That'd be one of those things between the premium and the elite package in my cases, where I would include marketing automation in that difference, because marketing automation would make the difference. See what I mean? Social media content creation, distribution, reporting, we just talked about that. Business development strategy and infrastructure scaling. I'm gonna say that one more time because it should have gone above your head if you didn't catch it. Business development strategy and infrastructure scaling. Do not listen to me and do not sell this if you have not actually built a business and got real results, and you have a credible model where you have proved yourself as a business owner to actually establish, run, and maintain a business. Check this out. If you are an intermediate or you're an advanced individual and you're watching this right now, one of the biggest, baddest, and best things that you can do to differentiate yourself in the marketplace, especially in this oversaturated agency space that we're now in together, check this out. Business development strategy and infrastructure scaling. I come into people and I say, hey, I failed before. I've worked with people with just marketing efforts, and I've overflowed all of their pipelines. They couldn't handle anything. I've messed up their whole sales team. I messed up their accounting team. I messed up everything in their entire business just from imbalancing the business, only focusing on marketing. Joe, business owner, I need you to be able to focus on the fact that you need to build a sales team. You need to build a support model. You need to build accounting and an admin. You need to build a business around what we're about to do together. I'm not just going to drive you thousands of leads, Joe, through Google PPC. Check this out. I have done X in the past. This is where you enter your result. In my case, this is where I'd say, hey, Grant Cardone originally hired me to train his 25 salespeople on how to use Infusionsoft to contextually follow up with the hundreds of thousands of leads they were getting. And then I scaled to digital advertiser instead of just being caught in that position, right? That's where you need to say, hey, I've built, or I've helped build, or I've done this in business that relates to business development or infrastructure scaling. That's where then I could say, hey, and Grant, dude, that's nothing. I've then worked with about 13, 14 others where they've allowed us to come in and use our business development strategy and infrastructure scaling expertise to literally take their models, not only expand their marketing efforts, but be able to scale their sales, their admin, their accounting, their support team, their accounts, whatever. This is where you get an opportunity to really shine. I, as a business owner, when I sell this, this is above, in most cases, like my elite packaging. This is kind of outside my pyramid. This comes in as more of a consulting deal is how I'd recommend you to price this. Because when you're talking business strategy development, infrastructure scaling, it's literally you building a business for somebody And this is where you have the value add of saying that you want equity or a rev share. This is where you have the value add and kind of the leverage point is a better way to say it, to really scale the level of package that you're charging this person. Is if you have this expertise and you actually can build a business and you can prove that you've built a business and you can replicate that model in somebody else's business without your business failing, focusing on theirs, dude, sell this all day. Incredible counsel right there. Another upsell opportunity, PR opportunities. I have partners where we can get people published on Forbes, Fortune, Huffington Post, Business Insider, Inc., Yahoo, Bloomberg. I mean, I can name off every other major distribution channel in the game that allows us to do this at this point, but the PR opportunities that we can provide to people. So like I told you before, and I'll say it again, we specialize in personality brand development. So people come to us and they're like, hey, I've done this, and I want to teach other people how to do that. And we say, okay, well, here's how we're going to do it. You know, here's the business model, here's the packages, here's the assets we need. And after that's done, we'll then say it's time to market it. One of the very first things that we always do is we do PR opportunities. So we'll commonly put people in a Huffington Post article, and then an Inc., and then a Forbes, and maybe some others in between, like Addicted to Success, or Entrepreneur, or Influencive, or Pursuit, or whatever. We might get them on some podcasts, you know, and the PR effect always occurs. When you get one main piece of content, you'll commonly find that some other pieces of PR content that you don't have to pay for will come off of that. So what I just kind of said to you is hey, if I pay for a Huffington article, for example, there might be 4 other contributors out there that see this one main piece, and then they now say, well, hey, I want to contribute on this guy's content. I want to take whatever it is that was written in Huffington or Inc. or Forbes, I want to write a variated version of that, right? You'll commonly get some play off of that. So what I'm trying to tell you is PR opportunities can kind of outweigh the value that you initially think you're going to get from how much organic distribution will come from it or be replicated from it is a better way to say it. You can price that on a per transaction basis is commonly how I'll structure it, meaning dependent on the person and dependent on your costs. And you know, in my case, whoever I publish through has a different price point. So, you know, person X can publish in Huffington and Inc., but person Y can publish in Forbes, and person X charges this, and person Y charges that. So, you know, if I'm selling what person Y sells, I need to charge more because it's worth more, and I have to pay more. So always keep that in mind when you're structuring those deals as well. Last big thing, I know Dan Fleischman, the youngest founder of a publicly traded company in history and a monster in the influencer marketing space, delivered incredible high-impact data to you guys in the influencer marketing space. But he's also one of my partners. Dan has helped me, along with Brandon Hampton, the #1 social media influencer in the world, on setting up and scaling influencer marketing inside of my business. So that in itself, the arbitrage that you make off of that right now, like the volume of arbitrage, aka how much middleman money you make in those kind of deals. If there's ever been a time where there's like a gold mine in marketing that people don't know about, it's influencer marketing. But to be honest, there's no real systems, structures, or organization to that style of marketing yet. That's why it hasn't been scaled, and that's why people don't know about it, and that's why a lot of companies have problems with, or even a better way to say it is agencies and marketers have a problem with delivering that to their clients because there is no structure for them to work through. So it's inefficient for time. It's very efficient if you know somebody and you're connected in that space, and it's very lucrative and it drives very high impact returns. I mean, from things I've done with influencer marketing, we've generated 20x returns comparatively to 5x returns from influencer marketing versus, you know, Google PPC as an example. So just another way to deliver immense value as an upsell opportunity. How I'd price these would depend on the level of impact that they're going to drive for the person that you're working with. So if I'm in a position where I know that somebody getting a Forbes article is going to blow them up and they're going to get a 100,000 deal off of it, I'm going to charge them $50K instead of the standard $5K. You see what I mean? If I'm creating a landing page for somebody and I know they're selling a $1,000 product on there versus the guy I'm creating a landing page for that's selling a $10 subscription, I'm going to price those differently because the return that the person is expecting and what they're willing to pay to get that return is different in those circumstances. So you can have standards, you can have like your go-to packages, that's great, I do. But you always want to have the mentality that you're flexible on what it is that you price these upsell opportunities and even your core packages at, because sometimes you'll actually offend somebody by coming in too low on a price. So just to kind of recap everything that we just discussed, because we covered a lot together on you know, things like how to actually sell the deal, down to what is AdWords and, you know, some of the value that you need to build in yourself to be able to sell it, to things like how the actual package works and like the structures behind the deal that allow you to have the confidence internally and externally to put these things out there. we've given you guys some cheat sheets on models like this and how to set up an AdWords account. We've told you about the things that your buyer will care about. We've even gone in depth to talk about the reverse engineered strategy you can build and the CPRs that you can have in business, aka the clear processes to revenue, to deliver immense value to your clients and to get high impact returns quickly, because now you know that's what you care about. The services that you can include in the actual package we're all given to you guys today, literally expedited, broke down line item by line item from my own agreements and my own agency that's been successful, putting you in a position where you need to put that in your own agreements. We've gone over tools. We've covered about 6 to 7 different tools together today that are putting you in a position where you feel like you're going to win. And on top of that, we've given you the opportunity to generate the recurring revenue for your agency by telling you the tools, the programs, and the softwares you can use for that. We've also gone over some of the upsell opportunities as far as things you can add into the packages and how you can structure the deals outside of just selling the Google PPC and that specific avenue of generating clients for yourself or adding it on as an upsell from another avenue that you may have already taken from the list of upsells as an example. Now what I'd like to do for you, just to kind of recap it all, is I'd like to go over the do's and don'ts. Real quick, I'm in a position where, as an entrepreneur, I've gone through the ups and downs. I've had a very successful business. I've had the times where I've gone negative on my accounts, thinking my business is going to fail in like 3 days. And now I'm in a position where everything's very constant, right? And I've spent a lot of money, a lot of time, and built a lot of relationships and had a lot of successes and a lot of failures that have allowed me to put myself in a position where I can deliver the counsel I'm about to tell you on what you do need to do and what you don't need to do in relativity to what we kind of just spoke about. Just some of the things that I feel stick out the most that are just really actionable takeaways for things that you can, kind of take away from this program, from the SMMAs, and apply right into your agency life to avoid the pitfalls, from learning from other mistakes, and just being better than I was when I first started, because I didn't have the SMMAs when I had first come out a year ago to be able to position myself like this. So you guys are very fortunate to have this opportunity. Now the do's and don'ts, one of the big things, your client, if I haven't reiterated this enough already, a do is you do always want to tell your client what you are doing, not necessarily how you're doing it, but how it's relating to the result that they're looking to get. If you've spoke to them in the preliminary stages of selling a deal and you've told them that you're going to get them a result, I just want you to know that no matter how much other stuff you've told them, no matter how many other things you've talked to them about, no matter how overwhelmed you may feel with information that you've disseminated to this client, I just want you to know they'll never forget those words of this is how much you said you were going to make me from how much I've spent. I really want to reiterate the fact that if they spend this and you told them they're going to make that, that is what they're looking for. And they will never go against that number, ever. You could come $1,000 short of that, but if you don't hit that exact number in which you projected, I want you to know they're going to be coming at you hot with some questions, objections, concerns, and maybe dropping you as the agency that they're working with because you didn't put them in a position where you've clearly articulated timelines, expectations, and the ability to actually deliver the results in which you promised. Don't ever forget, ever. I write it on the contract. I write it on the agreement. I put it in the CRM. I'm going to write it on people's foreheads inside of my business in my office of how much we need to make for that client based on what we've told them. Because that's how important it is. I've lost clients that way. I've retained clients for life that way. I've done a lot with just that very piece of advice. Something else. You need to understand that as a business owner, every business owner in the entire world, except for about 5 to 10%, I imagine, and that's a made-up number, doesn't want to scale their business. 5 to 10% of people don't want to do anything. However, the other portion of that made-up number, the 85 to 90%, they do want to take action in business to scale what it is they're doing together and what you guys are doing. So if you have them spending, let's say, you have them on a $4,000 professional package, right? So they're spending $4K a month with you. I'm going to tell you now, if you make them 6 to 8K or you make them 12 to 16 or you make them whatever that is you make them, you are going to put them in a position where they want to spend more with you. That's how it's going to work. Everybody wants to scale. But it's up to you to give them the confidence and the clarity and the processes and what you've done for them to give them that path of scale. You need to let them know that it's an option, that if they spend more, they make more. You need to let them know that if they spend more, they can get more result. You need to let them know what that actually looks like, and you need to build that reverse engineered strategy for them again. The key here, I'm going to reiterate one more time. Always reiterate a CPR and you'll be good. Always reiterate a clear process to revenue and you'll never have an issue in business. Check this out. Third thing, okay? This is a good one. Since we're specifically talking about Google PPC, and this relates to every single thing that you're going to do in business. This relates to the Facebook ads, the Twitter, the LinkedIn, the YouTube, the Instagram, the Snapchat, geo filters you're doing. This relates to every single thing ever, marketing automation included, that you need to be updating the actual PPC campaigns. Let's relate it to Google since that's what we're talking about. You need to make sure that the PPC campaigns in which you created don't be a one and done. Don't be one of the people, or don't let your staff members be one of the people who just creates a campaign and then just lets it sit there without actually going in and making sure that what you have built is being updated, that A/B tests are being done, that you're constantly trying to improve it. Do not be the agency. Do not be the person delivering the service who just does it and then doesn't go back and try to do it better. I've also found that I've very successfully established client relationships, and then through not going back and updating it through lack of time or lack of stack or lack of whatever, that I've lost those relationships from not being able to constantly make it better. There's no excuses to a client as to why you can't give 100% of your time to their account to constantly make it better. So no matter what you can come up with, that's not going to make a difference. What you can do for them is going to make the difference. So that's another really good lesson I had. I have two more for you. Second to last one. Use the spy tools. If you are going to go into a meeting, if you are going to go into a client follow-up, if you are going to talk about PPC to somebody and you need to take them something that's going to make them confident in who you are, what you've done, and how you're doing it, it's going to be what the spy tools can generate for you guys. If you're going to be able to build a reverse engineered strategy for somebody and you're going to be able to have confidence to know you're getting a clear process to revenue for the clients you're working with, you have to put yourself in a position, where you have data to back up what you're saying. Otherwise, you're going to seem like an amateur coming in saying off an emotional whim that you want to use X keywords for your Google PPC strategies. You're not going to seem credible. I've gone into a meeting before, where I think I actually had, I was in affluence, if you will. So I had some awesome things happening. And I felt like such an expert that I actually went into a meeting with a reverse engineered strategy in my head. I had the CPR in my head. I had everything in my head. But I was so confident in myself at that point that I didn't visualize it. So I didn't take and externalize my presentation, right? So I didn't have all of the data from the spy tools. I literally used the spy tools, but I didn't generate the reports for them. I didn't verify that I had them before I went into the meeting like you always should, right? I didn't put myself in that position. So I lost that deal because I didn't take the deal on because I didn't have anything to back up what it is I was saying. It was just me saying it. It seemed like I was a babbling expert in a sense. Last one here. Should just go without saying, but you need to be confident, you need to be truthful, you need to be within ethics when you're selling these deals. I just gave you guys a lot of information on how to sell it and how to put your agency in a position where you have a new channel in which to generate recurring revenue for yourself and very high impact proven results with one of the number one used digital channels right now, ladies and gentlemen. The number one channel that's being used next to Facebook. You need to be confident, truthful, and ethical when you're selling this, because if you're not, just keep in mind, there are thousands, tens of thousands of experts who are selling the same thing. There are tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of hours that somebody could spend online researching what it is that you think you're an expert on. And the day that you don't walk in confident, truthful, and ethical with somebody, that's eventually going to come out. They are going to be able to exploit it. They will be able to call their friend who's a marketer who does PPC, and they'll audit what you're doing. Just make sure that with all the information that I just provided you on how to actually structure the model to sell PPC and generate this revenue channel for yourselves, do not go outside of your own ethics to lie to somebody or to be deceitful, as an example, or to not come in with the data because now you know. And once you're exposed to the truth, you can't hide from the truth, ladies and gentlemen. So that being said, go get results for people. Always have results in mind. Always be looking for the return and what you can do for the person that you're working with. Don't ever put yourself in a position or your agency in a position where your reputation's on the line. It's one of the 48 laws of power. Reputation is your most valuable asset. Be confident, truthful, and ethical in everything that you do, and sell some PPC, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jeremy Haynes, and I wish you all a great day.